Hello, happy to see you here today. Thank you so much for joining. Today will be our Inner Alchemy lesson. When I was learning Inner Alchemy practice, I didn't really understand what I was getting involved in. I thought I was learning Qigong. I had heard this word Qigong, and I wanted to become a teacher. I wanted to teach Qigong, so I found a teacher, and the reason I chose to study with this teacher was not really about the subject of inner alchemy, though it was very interesting what he taught, and he sent me some literature and these things by mail. It was very interesting. It seemed very old, and I had never encountered things such as that, so it was of course interesting. But what interested me the most was there was quite a lot of talk about healing of incurable diseases such as cancer and these types of things through practice, and that there's an inner healing process that takes place within the body, and also this concept of an internal medicine, that we can produce healing medicine inside the body. Now, I think now I would explain that differently, because this idea of medicine is something external or outside of ourselves. I understand now that practice changes the environment of the body. And this is basically, we look at these Taoist philosophy and practices, we really see the use of the yin yang symbol. And even we have a 5 elements concept. And even we can get into this idea of the I Ching, all of these things. But this is about change. This is talking about change, that things are not in only one condition. So now I really understand, as we practice, we really change our environment of the body. And there's any what we call a disease really needs a certain type of environment to exist in the human body. And if you create a certain type of environment, we can say the Taoist environment, the Taoist body. And I think this is a good term, the Taoist body. Then many diseases or conditions cannot really exist. Now, I think it's also important that if we look at Buddhism, and also if we look at Taoism, we talk a lot about the mind and also negative emotions, and that those are one of the main barriers or difficulties that we face when we're trying to practice. We can have a really good practice, do really good exercise, but we fall into negative states of mind or negative emotions. All our good work can be lost, and we really damage the harmony that we built internally, and we go out of balance and out of center. And so today I was going to share, I was going through some of my old notebooks from when I was studying in China, and wanted to read some concepts from some of the lectures I had, and it's a mystical, I would say. This is the practice my teacher talked about was really, we could use this term mystical, spiritual, and this is this idea of an immortal tradition, that we can be an ordinary human and we can transform ourselves to have a different state of mind, and also different body, different life experience. In Taoist practice, we have this idea like yuan qi. This means the primordial energy, but this is also when we do deeper practices, we experience yuan qi as light. This is a type of light energy. Okay, and so in this first kind of prayer, we say, "May the spiritual light shine within my body. May the spiritual light shine within my family and friends. May the spiritual light shine within all beings." May the spiritual light always shine with peace and harmony for the world. Okay, so this is a really beautiful, and this is setting a kind of intention, not just for ourselves. Okay, we have an intention for all beings, for all things. And this is really important. I was reading a Buddhism book in China, and the book was talking about the importance of selfless practice, that we dedicate practice to others, that the benefits or the merits that we gain from our cultivation practice, we give this to others. We dedicate this for other beings because others are not practicing, or they're in states of suffering than we are. This is a developing altruistic heart, compassion, empathy. These are very important qualities of heart, mind, disposition, the stance, operating stance that we have as humans. So this is important. We are not selfish. And so I kind of asked my teacher, well, why are we not doing this? Because in the Buddhism way, it's maybe more ceremonial, and they do kind of ritual. And the Taoist practice is very internal, and a lot of Taoist practice is about not having thoughts and the direct intentions, okay, like this. And so my teacher really was like, no, that's not a part of practice. We don't do those kind of rituals generally. And a part of me seemed disappointed, but he quickly followed. He said, from our view as Taoists, there is no other. There are no other things. There are no other people. This is a absolute view. This is an absolute reality view, not our relative view where we have an ego, self-identification. And that's that we're all connected. We're all one being. Or for example, we can say heart and mind. There's only one heart and mind, that all people are connected. We're all interconnected, interdependent. There's only one heart. And so as we do more practice and go through more self-transformation internally, as we transform our own heart, all other hearts are also transformed. Okay. And even some teachers, they talk about, as we do this kind of self-transformation, and we can call a self-evolution. We're evolving to higher and more positive states. It affects 7 generations back in our family, and also it will affect 7 generations forward in our family line. Okay, so we can think if as we do good, as we transform ourselves, it will do good for others. So let's continue. And so this is a really important, as the more we practice, we also have a good actions with others, good actions in life. And for Buddhists and also many Taoists, also they usually oftentimes become vegetarian. They do not eat meat because they do not want to have this kind of negative action of killing other beings. And when I was with my teachers in China, also we never ate meat. I'm very spiritual in my learning, in my own practice. But I know different people have different spiritual beliefs. But I think in this time of imbalance in the world, that we can be really honest with each other. And as a teacher, as a guide, I wanted to share these practices with you. I think these are really very practical. And this is not trying to pray to an external being or a God. This is about you have this godly nature within yourself, and also the power of your mind, power of your own heart intention, and that our minds can become clouded and the negative, or the heart can become very sullied and negative. And even though practice and we're training constantly or doing breath work, when we do our practice, that this is also a very direct way of understanding that words have power, words have intention, words have a frequency and a vibration, this type of idea. And that when we use these invocations, this is with the power of thought, mind, and word, and we harmonize like that. Okay, let's see, these are some of my notes. I want to share some concepts from practice. Okay, so let's see, this is a Taoist internal alchemy practice, some of my notes from my time in China. So this says a step one, the main concept of this practice is this unification or combination of the heart, mind, and the physical body. Okay, so this is a mind-body harmony, but this idea in the Chinese language, a Taoist concept, we say heart and mind, not just the thinking mind. This is a heart nature. And this is we're striving to search for and reach this combination with the root of destiny. Okay. And this, my teacher said, from the leaves and flowers, we return back to the root. There is one root for all things. What is this root? This root is our true self. That we have a true nature, a true self. And that in practice, we're trying to return back to reach this unification with our true self, our true root. Formerly, we are created. Return to the root, and we become the creator of all things. So this is an idea that we have some sense of that we are created. We are given birth by our parents, but we can return back to the very root of all creation. And sometimes the Taoists, they use this term that we hold the universe within the palm of our hands, and that all transformation, all change is arising from the palm of our hands. This is a very mystical concept, and this is this kind of tradition. Return to the root, and we gain mastery of our own destiny. Okay? So this was something when I learned, the teacher talked a lot about gaining control of destiny. And the main concept and teaching is mastery of our breath. Okay, now this can in the beginning mean physical breath, but my teacher always said that beneath this physical breath is what he called the true breath. Okay, and so true breath in one sense we can think of as qi energy. We have to practice sometimes a long time to understand these things. Remain unchanged, remain unchanging, the teacher said, while following this evolution course, this course of evolution. And so we're transforming, we're having a self-evolution as we practice. Follow the evolution course while remaining unchanging. Be unchanged. How to combine our heart-mind with our physicality. How do we combine the heart-mind with the physicality? How do we combine our mentality with the materiality? We must nourish our qi and cultivate our qi energy. Qi energy is the intermediate agent. Qi energy is the bridge that helps to unify the heart, mind, and the physicality. Okay, maybe too much mysticism for you today. But just this, I feel inclined to share like this, and this is really my practice. This is really my teaching. I don't want to pretend. So I have quite a few notebooks here. These are my writings. I'll try to share more.